So let's go ahead and get this done. I got 5.4. Number one says, tell whether x and y are proportional. They form a proportional relationship. Explain your reasoning. If so, write an equation. Let's look at the first one. We know to be proportional, I would have to take y and divide it by x every time, get the same answer. In the first one, we see 6 divided by 1, that's 6. And 8 divided by 2, that's 4. That means these two are not the same. It is not proportional. I don't even need to check the rest of these. So it does not go through the origin. So no, the line does not pass through the origin. So it's not proportional. All right, now the next part is number 3. It says graph the linear equation. I see y equals 7. So that means y is 7 all the time. On the y-axis, you're going to have a horizontal line that's going to go through 7. On number 5, it says y equals negative 0.25x plus 3. That means it's going to cross the y-axis across positive 3. The line's going to be going downward because it's a negative sign. And it means it's going to go up, or no, it's going to go down 0.25 for every 1 it moves over. So as you can see right here, it goes through 3, and it's going down. 0.25 is 1/4. So that means for every 1 it goes down, it's going over 4, right? Okay, let's go to number 7. It says solve the inequality, graph the solution. If I'm graphing negative 1.2c is less or equal to 7.2, I realize that I'm solving this just like an equation. I'm going to have to divide my negative 1.2 away from c, which means I'm going to divide 7.2 by negative 1.2. We can look at this as like 12 and 72, and I know that goes into it. I'm thinking about 6 times. So let's see if 7 is going to equal c is, well, oh, here's another thing we have to realize. Since I divided by a negative number, the symbol is going to turn itself in the other direction. So I'm thinking I'm going to get c is greater than or equal to, I'm going to go with a positive divided by negative is a negative, and this should be a negative 6. All right, let's see if that answer was correct. And it says c is greater than or equal to negative 6. That's a solid line that I put there then, and all the numbers that are bigger than negative 6 will be the right answer. All right, let's go to number 9. Number 9 says graph. The graph of y equals 3.5x is translated up 2 units. So if it's up 2 units, that means it's going to cross through my y-axis through positive 2. So when I graph this equation, I see that I'm going to pass through 2. It's going to go up 3.5 for every 1 that it goes over. So from here, it's going up 1, 2, 3, and then a half. Or I could even say it's going down 1, 2, 3, and a half, right? Before it crosses over my line right there. Everybody see that's 1, 2, 3, and then just a little more, right? 0.5 halfway through. And that's where it crosses through my negative 1. So when it comes over here, it'll be going up 3.5 and then over 1. And let's see, 10 is for you to do. Let's go to number 11. It says match the equation with its graph. Identify the slope with the y-intercept. Okay, well, this one says it's crossing through positive 1. So it's definitely not A, because that's crossing through negative 2. This one's crossing through positive 1, and so is this one. So, but this one over here shows that my slope is positive, and this line's going upward. So I know that 11 has to be B. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go to number 13. Number 12 is yours to do. I know I'm going through positive 1 again. Well, that pretty much tells me it's going to be here. But just to verify, I got a negative slope here. It's the only one that's negative out of these 3. And this is the only line going downward from left to right. And it is going down 2 and over 3. So from 1, it's going down 2 and over 1, 2, 3. 13 has to be C. All right, let's go on to 15. It says find the slope and the y-intercept on the graph of the linear equation. Okay, well, the slope is going to be negative 7 over 1. And the y-intercept is going to be on 12, positive 12. So the slope is -7, y-intercept is 12. Number 17, the slope is going to be 2.25 over 1, okay? And that's a positive slope. And then it's going through the y-intercept at 3. So the slope is 2.25, the y-intercept is 3. 19, we know that needs to be rearranged in order to be uh, in the linear equation. This can be confusing sometimes. Just remember y has to be equal to mx plus or minus b. So if that's the case, I need to move this -6 over here. Well, remember our rule for equation. I have to combine this with something to get rid of it. So I'm going to add 6 to this side, which means I'll add 6 to this side. This will give me my new equation. Y is equal to 3 over 8x, oops, 3 over 8x plus 6. All right, let's go to, let's reveal our answer. That means 6 is where it crosses the y-intercept, and our slope is 3 over 8. As you can see, the slope is 3 over 8, and y-intercept is 6. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 21. It says find the slope of the y-intercept again. Once again, I've got to rearrange this in the form of y equals mx plus b. So y is over here, but I notice these two need to be switched. So I'm going to leave this as y. I'm going to bring this over. It's still negative 1 over 2x. And it's minus 5. So don't forget the equal sign. So -5 is the y-intercept, and -1/2 is my slope. -1/2 is my slope. The intercept is -5. All right, number 23, you be the teacher. Your friend finds the slope and y-intercept of the graph of the equation y equals 4x minus 3. Is your friend correct? He's saying that the slope is 4 and the y-intercept is 3, and that's incorrect. Actually, the y-intercept is going to be -3. Don't forget, this negative sign belongs with the 3. So your friend is incorrect. It should be -3. So you can see it says no, the y-intercept should be -3. Rewrite the equation, and you would put y equals 4x plus -3. The slope is 4, and the y-intercept is -3. Let's go to number 25. It says graph the linear equation, identify the x-intercept. Well, when I graph this equation, I know it's going to go through 9, and the slope is going to be going downward from left to right. It's going to go down 3 and over 1. Okay? And it's saying to find the x-intercept, identify the x-intercept. Well, when I'm starting at 9 and I go down 3 and over 1, okay? Remember, these are in increments of 3 down here. So 1 might be right here, 2 might be right here. So it's going down 1 and over 3, down 1 and over 3, down 1 and over 3. My y-intercept is going to be 3. Or my x-intercept, excuse me, is going to be 3. The y-intercept was already positive 9. All right, let's go to number 27. Graph the equation, identify the x-intercept. Again, I know that I'm starting at -5. I'm going to go down 5 and over 1. So when I go down 5 and over 1, I have to remember I'm going to be going away from the x-axis. So I have to go and follow the line this way. And remember, if we're going down 1, and over 5, that means over here, I'm going up 5 and to the left 1, which would put me at -1 as my x-intercept. 29, I have to rewrite this one because it's not in the proper form. When I do this, I can rewrite it as y is equal to -2x plus 8. I know it's going to cross through positive 8. All right, and then it's going to be a negative line going downward from left to right. It's going to go down to and over 1 each time. So I'm starting here at positive 8. You can see these are going in increments of 2. So this will be positive 8. It's going to go down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1 repeatedly until it gets to 4 as my x-intercept. All right, 30 is for you to do. 31 says it costs $5 to go to the harvest festival and pick apples. Which equation represents the cost in dollars of going to the festival and picking X pounds of apples? Explain. Okay, so it says it costs $5 to go to the harvest fest. That means before I ever walk in, I'm paying $5. And X pounds of apples has to be 0.75 because down here it says that each pound of apples here is 0.75 cents. So I'm going to go with this one right here. And as you can see, it is y equals 0.75x plus 5. The cost of going to the festival is the sum of the cost of picking, is the sum of, in other words, added to the cost of picking X pounds of apples, where the apples is 0.75x and the cost of admission is $5. So I'm going to start here on the y-axis at 5, and I'm going to go up 0.75 and over 1, 0.75 and over 1, okay? And I'm going to keep doing that. All right, number 32 is yours to do. Number 33, a skydiver parachutes to the ground. The height, which is y feet, of the skydiver after x seconds is y equals negative 10x plus 3,000. So graph the linear equation. I'm going to start at positive 3,000. That makes sense since I'm a skydiver. I'm going to be above the ground. And then it says here, we're talking feet here. So it looks like per every second, I'm going to go down 10 feet. My line will go down 10 and over 1. So you can see here, I start at 3,000. I go down 10 and over 1. By the time that I get to 50, that means I'm going to be going 500 feet down. And that's why they have this in increments of 500. And I'm going to keep doing until I hit, well, 300, because let's face it, I can't go any further down than when I hit the ground. All right, B says interpret the slope, y-intercept, and x-intercept. Well, the slope is going to be negative 10. The y-intercept was 3,000, and the x-intercept, of course, was, looks like 300. So the slope is negative 10. So the skydiver parachutes to the ground at a rate of 10 feet per second. The y-intercept is 3,000. Okay, that means he starts at 3,000 feet above the ground. And from the graph, the line crosses to 300 and 0. So the skydiver lands on the ground after 300 seconds have gone by. Number 34 is for you to do. I believe that's the last of them. It is. So the rest are for you. We will grade this in class. And good luck. See you tomorrow.